This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. And oh my God, have I told you the Koko Beware story that lives on forever in our group chat?
No,
So,
love to hear it.
Apparently, I know it's so random too. And by the way, if you're sleeping on Koko Beware, let me recommend that you go watch some of his Memphis stuff. He knew how to work, and he knew how to lay it in, and he had a hell of a drop kick. Either way, now he's got a fucking bird named Frankie, and he's the Birdman, and here he is. Anyway,
And he's back too, because he had been fired.
he got fired after this, didn't he? Or was this before?
This is before, because I was there when he got fired. I was there when he got fired in
Overseas.
Brussels. Yeah, overseas in Brussels. I was on that trip.
Apparently, and we should probably not say the name. It's out there if you want to search for it. But he got, there was a person who worked behind the scenes with the company who popped off, and maybe
Jim Troy. Yeah,
Oh,
Jim Troy.
Well, fuck it. We're saying the name. And there was a lot of alcohol involved, according to the story.
Mm-hmm.
And supposedly, these guys were going back and forth, and allegedly Mr. Troy may have referred to Koko Beware in a less than favorable manner, and maybe used a racist term. And Koko flipped out, as you could imagine, and beat the fuck out of him.
Yeah, he did. The word is, I heard he broke a liquor bottle
And cut him with it.
and cut him with it. Now, earlier in the day, at I think the same bar in Brussels, I was hanging out. Me and Lord Alfred Hayes were hanging out with Jim Troy. And because we didn't have to work that day, in other words, we didn't have to wrestle, and we had already shot our footage that we needed behind the scenes in Brussels, we started drinking like at noon. So I would think by the time that the match was over that night, Jim Troy was feeling pretty good. Just my thought on that, because I remember when I heard the story, I went, "Fuck, we were just hanging out with Jim Troy earlier in the day." But that's that story. Tell me your Koko Beware story that's on your chat line.
By the way, it's been described as like helter-skelter of sorts. There was so much fucking blood. It was a major situation. Well, either way, both guys get shown the door. Fast forward, Koko's back. Super Dave Miller, great friend of the show. We've often referred to him as Pondwater Dave.
I think that's what he refers to himself on Twitter now.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, it's accurate. I mean, he lives on pond water, so he thinks he's immune to all that's going on in the world right now. And between that and as many flaming hot Cheetos as he consumes, he probably is. Either way, though, he has been a wrestling fan his whole life. So when he was a younger man, he would still go to the matches. And of course, he grew up in the Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana area. So that was a hotbed for a lot of different local promotions. And Koko appeared on one of those shows when Super Dave was a younger man, and his sister was sitting ringside. And his sister was booing Koko because I think Koko was a heel. And Koko approached his sister and said, "I bet you want this big black dick up your ass, don't you, you white whore?" So literally anytime Super Dave brings his sister up in the group chat, one of my degenerate friends says, "You mean the white whore?"
Well, the question is, did she get it?
Well, I don't know, but literally anytime any of us in the group chat have an opportunity to find something Koko Beware related, we send it to Dave, like old Koko figures.
Oh, that's
Koko
tremendous.
8x10, just anything, cause technically they're brothers-in-law,
That is a tremendous story.
So whenever people give me shit about, "Oh, your sister-in-law is Charlotte Flair," I'm always like, "Yeah, but Super Dave's brother-in-law was nearly Koko Beware." So,
do you ever hear any stories about he and Frankie, that he didn't like the fucking bird?
who likes any of these animals they got to travel with? It becomes a fucking pain in the ass. Some of the guys talk about, "Oh, I don't want to be champion. It was a fucking hassle to carry the belt through TSA." Imagine carrying a goddamn bird or a fucking snake or a bulldog. No, they don't want to fucking carry those things. They just want to go to bed.
I'm with you. Birds shitting all over the place.
Can you imagine? By the way, we should mention Koko Beware is doing a GoFundMe type deal right now. I think he is needing some work on a knee, I think. Let me see if I can find the information, and we'll share that with you, because Koko is one of the all-time underrated performers. And you can just go watch his stuff and check it out. Yeah, there it is. GoFundMe. Koko needs a knee replacement. He's trying to raise just $10,000. He's got $1,685. I know it's a challenging time right now, but man, I had a good time watching this guy, and he entertained us. So I'm going to make a donation. I hope you'll consider it as well.
I will. Yes, absolutely.
It's on GoFundMe.com, and then you can get there and just look for Koko Beware with knee replacement. And there it is.
Sounds good. As you know, I became a member of the Cauliflower Alley Club, and they do some good work for wrestlers needing, benefits. So I'm all for that, man. I'm all for that. Which reminds me, Rick, the model Martel was a hell of a performer. I know we've talked about it before. We've seen him on WCW events. You and I watched his last match when he blew out his knee, his last match ever. He could really go, man, and look good. But as we're talking about wrestlers, I did watch the Dark Side of the Ring, the Chris Benoit thing. Yikes. And that's all we need to say about that. That one really, it hit everybody hard, I think, who watched it. But the good news of that?
What's
Congratulations,
that?
Chris Jericho, for getting the families back together.
It was a remarkable episode. Of course, earlier this week, we saw the New Jack episode. I've also had a chance to see the Brawl for All episode. Let me just give you a teaser. There is a meltdown in the Brawl for All episode that is going to be legendary, and you're going to love it.
Okay. Very good. These two kids are working pretty hard here in the ring, aren't they?
Couple of Hall of Famers, man.
Yeah.
Rick the Model Martel, I do feel like, is one of those sort of what if guys. To me, he was just one notch below like a Kurt Hennig or a Ravishing Rick Rude. Right. And I feel like if they would have maybe worked on his promos just a little bit, and he wasn't a bad promo, but if he could have had a little bit of polish there, he could have had the same career that Mr. Perfect or Ravishing Rick Rude did. And I know he was AWA champion and all that, and he had a tag run here and a decent run as the model, but it did feel like there was a ceiling with him that his look and his work didn't necessarily necessitate. Like, he could have been an even bigger deal than he was.
Yeah, because look, the fact is he's wrestling on the opening match of WrestleMania, and he has him tap out to begin things. Yeah, I agree. I agree with all that you're saying about Rick Martel. Had that 80s do too as well, didn't he? I think I ought to grow out my hair like that, don't you? Long and like that, get a perm. What do you think?
I think it would be a great look for you, buddy.
My hairstyle is getting ready to change, by the way.
Well, so you're going to try. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.